Flip Flappers is honestly one of the most stunning anime I have seen in years. People will constantly say how dry this season is, and that's mainly because there isn't that one big show, as usually once a season, there's that one show Reddit and everywhere on the internet is talking about. For the past couple of seasons, it was Re:Zero, and I'm saddened that this isn't getting the same hype, and I loved Re:Zero, but this blows it out of the fucking water. This anime is diving into so many mature themes in a very good way. It's dealing with growing up and coming of age and figuring out who you are in life, while also giving this very kind of subtle but darker themed plot, and everything is mixing in a very interesting way. And once again, Flip Flappers got better this week as it does every week. Every single week I think it's a better episode than the previous weeks, and this is no exception. This has so much to talk about. This is probably going to be one of the longer reviews for Flip Flappers, so sit back and relax because we have a lot to discuss here. I mean, first things first, we are starting to learn that when they go into pure illusion, it is a dimension just adjacent from their own, and it seems like if they go deep enough in pure illusion into these worlds, it can actually affect their own world. As we see with last week, they were going into this world and they were seeing their senpai's memories in the past, and as they completed that world, it actually changed her, and she started getting rid of her painting. She started painting her nails similar to how the grandmother or the aunt did in the world there, and it starts to kind of do a chain reaction of it, seeing that if they mess with these worlds enough, if they maybe just complete these worlds, it could actually have either a negative or a positive impact for this specific world. And it's interesting because if you take a look at how the episode ends, it does seem like everything is coming full circle. Now, there's a character named Mimi that Paprika does say towards Cocona, and I think a lot of people aren't going to understand what this means, but if you take a look how the episode starts and ends, it seems like Mimi might actually be Cocona's mother, as we see a flashback of her with a baby, and then she kind of disappears. It seems like possibly, based on what we've learned, that if they go into pure illusion, if they alter, if they complete it, if they get this crystal or this shard, or whatever chain of reaction happens, it can affect their own world, as we see throughout the episode and what happened. So what I'm thinking is Mimi is actually Cocona's mother, and this explains what happened to her parents, as we learn that if you go into the world deep enough, if you change it, it could have a negative impact. And what probably happened was Mimi was one of the first to probably experiment going into pure illusion. She was probably killed or got trapped or got locked into another dimension, which altered their own world, meaning she doesn't have parents. And that's why Mimi and Cocona probably look like, as it is more than likely her mother. Yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing. But I love how we're seeing that going into these worlds isn't just we're having fun and it's a blast. It does seem like to me that when they complete these worlds, when they get their shard, either A, they destroy that world, they destroy that dimension, or B, it does always alter something in their own world. And no matter what, when you go into these worlds, it is not just playtime. This does have a negative impact, and now we're seeing it just happen closely to them, as this has probably always been going on, just they haven't seen the effects because it wasn't close to home, but now it's starting is. But I think it's safe to say Mimi is Cocona's mother, and she was more than likely either killed or trapped in one of these worlds, and that's how she lost her mother, and more than likely her father as well. I mean, the very first episode, we see a dead magical girl laying there. It's not going to be insane if her mother was one of the first, and Paprika just didn't know it was a memory that was locked away, or it could have been altered because she was trapped in there, so her own memories may have gotten altered. There's a possibility that they can go with there, but I'm 100% confident in saying that Mimi is more than likely related to Cocona, and I believe it is actually her mother. But I think the most interesting thing, as amazing as the Mimi stuff is, I think the most interesting thing is how much they're going in with Cocona's sexual feelings, as this was very sexual in a lot of ways. Like, not even just, the whole Paprika stuff in the bed and all that other stuff. The entire core of this episode was very discovering who you are and embracing your love. I mean, the episode kind of starts off with Paprika trying to give Cocona her hand, and she refuses it. And that's something she promised she would never do. She would always hold on close and not let go. And as soon as she does that, she then seems to be sucked into a pure illusion world, and she's kind of by herself. There's a lot of negative negative space. There's a lot of wide shots with her alone, which symbolizes her finding herself, not knowing who she is in this world, and feeling alone and scared, as a lot of people do when they're growing up, especially if someone has feelings, and it does seem like she does have sexual feelings towards Paprika. It's not just a friendship, it does seem like she does have a romantic interest in her, but it doesn't seem like she's just straight up gay. She does seem like she might be bi, as one of the versions of Paprika was a boy, and she did get flustered by him, so I'm thinking she is more than likely bisexual. Now, some people might be saying, oh, you're just diving into this too much. Back in the bunny world, it was just heavy on embracing who you are. This entire season, this entire show is about embracing who you are and not feeling ashamed and embracing your sexual desires. And this entire episode, where we were seeing different versions of Paprika, some as a little sister, which to me symbolized an innocent sisterly love. Then there was the boy version, which was kind of the romantic feeling. Then there was the kind of, it's hard to explain that version when the Paprika was really trying to feel up Cocona there. It was more of kind of a rebellious girl, but there's all these individual versions of Paprika that all represented a different point of view that she kind of experiences. The rebellious stage, the sexual stage, the shy stage. There's all these different versions of Paprika, which did symbolize to me of embracing who you are, but also kind of coming to terms with who you truly are and how you feel. I mean, there's even the comment with Paprika, do you love me? Well, do you mean, do I love you as a friend? Why does that matter? And then she starts feeling her up and all that other things. And some people might just bash it off as fan service. No, it's 100% Cocona trying to figure out who she is in life and embracing who she is. And once they finally get back together, when Paprika does save her and she holds onto her hand again, it was such a magical scene. But the entire essence of her being alone there, being in all that negative space, seeing the different versions of Paprika was her coming to terms with who she is in her own feelings and realizing that she can't be away, and she let go, and in doing so broke apart Paprika. It's a very interesting way they kind of built this episode. There is so much to this episode, it's amazing. And at the very end, before the whole Mimi reveal, she does give Cocona a flower crown, and I looked up different white flowers with the yellow center, and I'm not 100% sure what flower that was, as a lot of times flowers have a symbol, a symbolic love, it has a meaning like death, love, life, etc. And I couldn't figure out exactly what flower this was, but I looked at a few different flowers that kind of looked like it. But one thing I did notice that was a common trend with the white flower and the yellow center was it all did have some relation to love. And if this was the only thing in the episode, I would brush it off, but because the entire episode was kind of embracing who you are and all these, love and sexual desire things, I do think it was a symbol of Paprika giving Cocona her love. I do think there 100% is feelings there more than just a love in terms of friendship. I do think it is a 100% actual sexual relationship, and I think by the end of this show, they might actually be something more than just friends. That is if they live and they don't get erased or something like that. But I do think that crown at the end was symbolizing their feelings overall, as the entire episode was her kind of embracing and growing up, coming to terms with who she is, how she feels in life, who she wants to be, and also her own deep, dark feelings in a lot of ways. The episode overall was just fucking fantastic. I have to say, how mature it's handling things like this. I mean, a lot of times when you have Yuri-esque vibes to things, it's more or less just Yuri. That's all it is, which really, that is all it is. But what I like about this is how we're seeing it from a perspective of someone not knowing who they want to be in life and also not knowing their own feelings, and this world is allowing them to embrace who they are in a very unique way. Also, the Mimi stuff definitely seems like that was her mother, and more than likely that's how she lost her parents, was in Pure Illusion. As we do see, the deeper you go into Pure Illusion, the more you can alter your own world, and I do think when they release the shards, they do destroy these other dimensions, which then has a negative impact. But overall, beautiful episode. Flip Flappers is phenomenal. I don't know why more people aren't watching it. This is the best anime of the season, and I think this is going to be the best anime for the year for me. This is great. Let me know your thoughts. How are you feeling about how they're handling the sexual desires? What do you think about Mimi? Do you agree with me? Because I don't see any other way around that. I think Mimi definitely is her mother. They look alike. The whole thing with Paprika realizing who Mimi was, it does seem like that's how she lost her parents. But let me know your thoughts, your theories. How are you enjoying the series? And as always, please be sure to hit that like button to show your support. And if you're also new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more content like this and so much more. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.